In this video, we're going to look at what a JavaScript variable is. So a JavaScript variable is just a container for storing values. And the value stored in a variable can be changed any number of times. So the whole point of having a variable is that it is capable of varying its value. So a variable is a container that stores values and the value of that container can keep changing. So that is the essence of a variable. Now if you look at this example, so here we have this word called var space x and that is equal to 5. So here var is the reserved keyword, which means that JavaScript uses this to perform some actions and you can't use this as a variable name. So var is a reserved keyword which denotes that whatever comes after that is a variable. So here x is the name of that variable, okay, and 5 is the value of that variable. So here we are declaring a variable and initializing its value to be 5. And the value of this x can be changed later. So that is the whole essence of what a variable is. Its value can keep changing. It doesn't have to stay 5 forever. You can make it other values as well. So we'll look at examples for this. And I also want you to know these three things about variables. Variable assignment simply means that you take a certain variable and you give it a certain value. So that's a variable assignment. So for example, here we have written y equals 10. Doesn't matter what the value of y was before this, but now after this statement, the value of y will be 10. So this is called assigning a variable a value. Variable declaration means that for the very first time you are referring to a variable name, and before that you have to say var x, and this only happens once. You cannot declare a variable that is already declared. So declaration happens only once, and it's also possible to say x without the var and it will still be declared because JavaScript implicitly assumes that it's a variable. But it's always good to declare a variable using the var keyword. And variable initialization simply means that while declaring the variable, you're also assigning the value. So unlike here, where the declaration happens without assignment of a value, initialization happens with the declaration of the variable along with assigning a value. So initialization is basically the first time a value is assigned to a variable during declaration. So these are the three things that can happen to a variable. Now let's put all of this to use and see how it all happens in action. So here let's go to our JavaScript file that we created earlier. And we can open it in Notepad, and I'm going to delete all of these lines and I'm going to save this, and here I'm going to say var x equals 5, var y equals 10, var z equals x plus y, and I'm going to say document.write the value of z is z. So as you can see here, I'm including this string and then comma the name of this variable. Okay. So this is how you can write multiple things onto a document.write statement or a console.log statement. So I'm going to save this and I'm going to open this in browser, and here you can see that the value of z is 15, which is what we expect. Okay. So this statement is showing its value here. Now you can also say x minus y x minus y equals, and here you can see x is 5, y is 10, so 5 minus 10 is minus 5. Okay, so far so good. So we've initialized three variables here, var x with the value 5, var y with the value 10, and var z with the sum of these two variables. Now let's do one thing. Let's assign a different value to x. We'll say x equals 55. Now let's leave this statement and we'll say document.write the value of x is x, document.write the value of z is z. So now let's save this. Now I want you to think about this. We're declaring the value here of x, of y, and then we are saying z equals x plus y. So the value of z here is 15. Okay, so remember that. Now we're changing the value of x to 55 from 5. So now when we say the value of z is z here, what should show here? By the way, I've had an extra t here. So when I print out the value of z, should it say 15 or should it say 55 plus 10, which is 65? So would it be 15 or 65? Think about it. So you can pause the video and think about it for a second. And I'm going to save this file now and refresh it here. And you can see here that it says the value of z is 15. By the way, if you want to print these three lines in separate lines, instead of printing it all in the same line, you can just say document dot write. So we're basically adding a line break statement, and if you refresh that now, it'll go to the next line, and you can just copy this and paste this here. Now it's in separate lines. So here we've seen a few different things now. So initially we set the value of x to be 5, and then we reassign the value of x to be 55, and we've seen how JavaScript executes the code sequentially. It doesn't automatically update the value of z even though we changed the value of x to be 55 later. So like this, we can understand how JavaScript works as we work through different examples. We'll see a lot more examples in the future, but this is it for now. So before we go, let's have a quick recap of what we learned in this video. We looked at what variables are, and we looked at how they are declared and assigned, and we looked at the different things that can be done with a variable. You can assign a variable a value, you can declare the variable, which usually happens before assignment, and we can also declare the variable and assign it with the same statement. So that's it for this video. Make sure to like and share this video, and also subscribe to our channel, and please press the bell icon for notifications. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.